This program is sponsored in part by the Center for Freedom and Prosperity and the Vernon K. Kriebel Foundation.
I'm from Appalachia, a coal miner's daughter. For hundreds of years, people settled here to find freedom. They persevered by relying on themselves and their family to survive.
Very nice.
But my home has changed. We've lost our self-reliance. Appalachia has been left to fail. I'm Emerald, a proud Appalachian, and I want to thrive, not just survive. So I'm going to Washington, D.C. and team up with famed economist Dr. Richard RAHN, and together we will find those people around the globe who are thriving against all odds.
Having visited countries able to emerge from poverty, I wanted to explore a country that has sustained prosperity against all the odds. According to a United Nations report, Switzerland is the happiest place on earth. The country receives top marks across the board, ranking high on many metrics of national performance, including government transparency, civil liberties, qualities of life, economic competitiveness, and human development. How has a small, landlocked country with a diversity of language, religions, and no notable natural resources achieved so much success? Well, that's what I wanted to find out. First stop, Zurich. Located in the north-central part of the country, it's the largest city in Switzerland. The first obvious challenge the Swiss have overcome is the lack of a unifying language. Here they speak Swiss German, but during my visit, I'd hear 3 other official languages: French, Romansh, and Italian. Confusing, but apparently the Swiss take it in their stride. Dr. RAHN had arranged for us to sit down with Dr. LINO GUZZELLA, president of one of the best scientific universities in the world, ETH, or ETA, as the Swiss say it, the Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. 19 Nobel laureates, including Albert Einstein, have roamed these halls. President GUZZELLA greeted us in his office, which seemed befitting of the president of one of the greatest universities in the world.
So good to meet you again.
So nice.
How are you?
To see you.
He summed up what makes Switzerland so successful.
The most important cultural aspect of Switzerland is innovation. We cannot survive without innovation. If we stop to innovate, we will immediately become a very poor country.
But I learned Swiss success was also built on egalitarian principles.
It has always been a very democratic system. And this bottom-up, giving power to the people, has been always one of the leading motives of our existence.
But how does innovation and equality produce prosperity? I asked a leading Swiss diplomat what made Switzerland become successful, even though it was improbable.
I want to answer your question with an anecdote. Okay. Have you ever thought why Switzerland has a watch industry? In a country where you have no commodity except water and the brain of the people, you need to come up with a business model where you invest in people, in the skill of the people, in precision. And this is, in a certain way, a model that still exists. Look, for instance, biotechnology. This is one of the cutting-edge areas in the Swiss economy. It's very similar.
So biotech technology exemplifies the modern Swiss success story. I drove across Zurich to the headquarters of Inspiro, an ETH startup company riding the crest of a scientific wave. Inspiro creates 3D cell tissues for testing in the pharmaceuticals and cosmetic industries. It's a prime example of the innovation that President GUZZELLA attributes to Switzerland's success.
At the company, we are working in 3D cell biology. Over the last 30 years, cells have always been grown in flat layers on plastic surfaces, but that's not the way how our human body is made. Cells live in a 3D environment, everything's layered, everything works together like musicians in a concert, and we developed a technology to bring different cell types together in that 3-dimensional context. This whole process is very complex, and if we can help speeding things up, it might ultimately help saving lives.
But why continue to operate in Switzerland, a country known for its more expensive labor force?
You know, I think there are probably a lot of reasons for that. The one that we experience most is the wealth of talented and dedicated workforce.
It was apparent how the Swiss culture of bottom-up, adapted by ETH, has helped Inspiro take their vision and impact the world in big ways. But do those innovations extend beyond the confines of the laboratory? I went to another ETH startup, Self-Nation, to find out.
Hi, Emerald. It's so nice to meet you.
Self-Nation is a young fashion company that combines fashion and technology and that offers customers a completely new experience how to buy jeans.
Andreas got the idea for Self-Nation while denim shopping with his girlfriends one day.
I was with friends here in Zurich to buy jeans, and actually my female friends, and they wanted to buy jeans, and they okay, I come with you.
With access to the internet, it's possible to order jeans from anywhere in the world. Satisfaction just a click away.
After you put in the 8 measures, you see a 3D model of your body in the browser as you would stand in front of the mirror.
And once the Self-Nation customer clicks the order button, within 10 seconds a pattern is made, and within a minute the pattern is cut. Then the jeans are manufactured at either the Swiss or German sites. In about 10 days, you have your Self-Nation custom fit jeans.
There's a huge potential when you apply technical knowledge to all-day problems.
I love what happens when people are given the freedom to flourish and innovate. But now it was on to Bern, Switzerland's capital city. The Swiss refer to Bern as their federal city, as it is home to Switzerland's small central government. And Bern is home to the Swiss parliament, which consists of 80 members from the different cantons, or states as we call them. Swiss governance is broken down into 3 levels: the municipality or commune, the canton or state level, and the federal. But instead of working top down, government follows the Swiss philosophy of bottom up.
It's just freedom to act. Instead of having a central government that imposes everything on everybody, you have a local freedom to act and to lower your taxes or to raise them if you know that also happens, or to have different sets of regulations.
I wanted to see how Swiss government operated at the local level, so I asked, where should I visit next? He suggested Zermatt, a small alpine village and home of the majestic Matterhorn. Then meet with Christoph BURGIN, president of the village, to find out how Swiss governance works at the local level.
The system in Switzerland is that the community, they have lots of rights. So it starts always from the communities up to the government in Bern. But the biggest rights has always the people.
That means that the people have more say individually in different matters of governance, like taxes.
And Switzerland is the only country in the world who can decide of taxes, if they want to pay or not.
I was very tempted to stay in this idyllic spot, but Richard wanted me to press on to Switzerland's financial capital. I hated to say goodbye to Zermatt, but I'll be back one day. An international hotspot with a demographic of numerous nationalities, Geneva ranks high in quality of life indexes and is one of the most important financial centers in the world. And one of the reasons Geneva holds such an important place in world finance is thanks to its formerly secretive banking industry. Although there are big corporate banks here, more like we're used to in the US, such as Credit Suisse, Swiss banking is unique because of its smaller private banks, which are partnerships where the partners have unlimited liability, meaning everything they have themselves is at stake. The growth of the private banking industry meant an influx of capital from the rest of the world. The capital to start new businesses added to Switzerland's growth and success and meant more employment opportunities for its citizens. I wanted to see it for myself, so I hopped a train to, well, see how trains are made.
Yeah, I started in '89. I bought a company with 18 employees, and the turnover was 4.5 million US dollars. And I bought 100% of the shares, and now we have an entrepreneur model for all employees. And the profit is shared also by the workers, and not only by the owner or the main shareholder.
The idea of giving employees stake in the company really resonated with me, but I have to wonder how any employer could offer such an incentive with the expensive Swiss labor force. And again, I had to ask, why operate in Switzerland?
Switzerland is a very high-cost labor cost country, that's correct. But I think we have other advantages. We work much more hours per year than in other countries. For example, in Germany. In Switzerland, we have around 2,000 hours per year. In Germany, it's around 1,600 hours.
Peter went on to say that a low corporate tax rate encouraged investment. But then he started telling me about his workforce and how a nationwide initiative was key to his astonishing success.
We have very well-educated people. We have a dual education system. After the high school, the people work 3-4 days per week in the company, and up to 2 days they go to the school. So we have a very high quality by the employees.
And what does Spuler have to say to people who have a dream of being an entrepreneur?
Never give up, never give up.
Stadler is an impressive Swiss company for certain. But if the apprenticeship practice helps an international conglomerate, how does it help smaller enterprises? I got my answer as I checked into the Vita Hotel.
Aren't you a little young to be working here?
Well, actually, I'm not quite.
Vincent explained that like the apprentices I had met at Stadler, he works at the hotel 3 days a week, then goes to school the other 2 days of the week, where he studies subjects that apply to the hospitality industry, as well as interdisciplinary studies, including language and arts, with students looking to pursue other industries.
I'm in my third year, and I'll finish this summer. I have my exams coming up. I have the wonderful opportunity to stay here and work here all along.
So you graduate and you have a guaranteed job.
Which is wonderful.
So the student employees gain real-world experience, and then employers get the opportunity to train their future workforce. Genius. Well, my journey had come to an end here in Switzerland. Before heading back to Washington, Richard and I sat by Lake Geneva, taking in the iconic fountain and discussing what I had learned.
People have control over their own lives. They feel like they're masters of their destiny. We saw in these little towns of how they can make decisions, and the central government can't come in and dictate to them. And they make decisions about their own lives. Also, there's a great deal of honesty here. There's a tradition that very little corruption. And so that if you want to bring your money someplace in the world, here's a good place to do it, and it's logical.
As I watched the sun go down over the Alps, creating a beautiful painting of the sky in Lake Zurich, I thought to myself, Switzerland just might be the happiest place on earth. And here's to the hope that other less fortunate places around the globe can, like Switzerland, become an improbable success.